Hey, this is the Sparkbox Code Challenge put on by the HTML and CSS Task Force. The prompt for this challenge is a newsletter sign-up form. Now we have some requirements for this particular challenge, but they are the minimal level of requirements. Your newsletter sign-up form must be contained within a form element. You need to have a label that is attached to an email input field, and finally a submit button. No need to have anything about a confirmation. This isn't necessarily to work with actually submitting a form, but the visual interaction is the general goal. But you may feel free to challenge yourself in any way you see necessary in putting this together. So some ways to challenge yourself might be trying out some new ways to make it accessible. Maybe you don't have a lot of familiarity with making accessible forms. It might be worthwhile to go through and research what ways you could do this, maybe even trying ways that are different than what you've normally worked with. Another way might be to add some animation. Maybe it's just the way that the elements are interacted with when there's focus added on into the email field, or maybe when the button is pushed. Another thing to try out, for example, might be new CSS features that you've never used before. Perhaps the focus within field, so that you can see when an element has focus and apply more styles. Perhaps the button color could change when there's focus within the parent container. Another thing you might want to try out with new CSS features are custom properties. Maybe you've not used CSS variables before, and this might be a good way to try that out. Lastly, is just another idea of things you could try out is perhaps a framework. Maybe you've never worked with Tailwind or Bootstrap, and you want to give them a try. Go through, read their documentation, and see how you could put together a newsletter form in this way with those frameworks. And then when you're all done, please add us on Twitter and share what you've learned. We're at Here's Sparkbox on the Twitters, and we'd love to see what you've done, and maybe we'll go through and try and collect what really stands out from everybody's submissions. So happy coding. Later.